Hi, I'm Marie Gale. I'm the author of Soap and Cosmetic Labeling, How to Follow the Rules and Regulations Explained in Plain English, and I'm here to talk to you today about labeling soap. The first thing we need to understand is that soap can be a cosmetic or it can be a consumer product, a household product that's not regulated by the FDA the same way that cosmetics are. In order for soap to be exempt from the definition of a cosmetic, it needs to meet three requirements. First of all, the bulk of the non-volatile portion must be the alkali salt of fatty acids, which means that the soap has to be mostly saponified oil that you've made with, lye and water and oil. So that's the bulk of the non-volatile portion is the alkali salt of fatty acids. The second requirement is that it's identified as soap. It's not shampoo, it's not body wash, it's not beard wash, it's not dog soap. It's identified as soap, just simply soap. And the third requirement is you can only say that it cleans. You can't say that it moisturizes or exfoliates or makes you beautiful or brightens your skin or does any of these other things, because those are cosmetic claims and it makes the product a cosmetic. So in order to be exempt from the FDA regulations for cosmetics, the soap has to follow these three requirements. When you have a product that meets these requirements, it still has covered by the law called the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act, but the regulations that enforce that act and put it into place are put into position by the Federal Trade Commission, not the FDA. So we'll take a look at what goes on an actual soap product. All right, here's the front of my soap that I'm going to sell. The first thing that we have to have on there, as we saw in the list of requirements, is that it must be identified as soap. So somewhere on the label we have to say, this is soap. We might say it's handmade soap or handcrafted soap, but the bottom line is that the consumer, when they pick up this bar or box, needs to know that it's soap. It's not cheese, it's not a solid lotion bar, it's not chocolate, it's not edible, it's soap. That's the first requirement. The second requirement is that you must have the net contents. This is very important because this is how a consumer determines what the value is of the soap, or it's one of the ways. They have to know how much soap they're getting for the price they're paying. Since soap normally is a solid bar, if it's liquid, we're going to do it differently, but for a solid bar, you're talking about weight. So you would put the net weight, let's say, is 4 ounces. You also have to put on there that it's in metric, so that would be grams, so it would be 114 grams. And really, this is all that's required on the front of the soap package. Of course, the other things you can put on the label include your business, the name of your soap. This is Lovely Soap. And it smells like daisies, daisy scent. So you can put other things on the label, but you must have the identity and the net weight. Then you have one other requirement, and that's on the back. So on the back of your soap, somewhere, you need to put who the responsible party is. And that includes the name and address. So you're going to have the name, you're going to have the street address, and the city, state, and zip code. Now, Some people have trouble with the idea of putting their home address on the label if they are working out of their home. The name and address has to be where you're actually doing business. You can't do a P.O. box or mailboxes, etc. So you have to put the street address of where you're actually doing business. But there is an exemption. You can omit the street address and just put the name and the city, state, and zip code if your street address is listed online under your business name. Currently, the FTC is in the process of redoing their regulations. So it looks like so long as the address can be found by a public search of the business name, you're going to be good. It could be on a website, it could be in a directory, but it has to be available. And as a caveat, some people have found that they would rather not put their street address on their website because it's exposed to so many people, including things like Google locations, and instead just put it on the soap where only the people who actually get your soap are going to know your address. That's a personal choice. Either way works, but the bottom line is you have to have the name, city, state, and zip, and your street address if you can't find it online. And that's really all that's required on a soap label. You'll notice that I did not say that the ingredients are required because they're not. That's a cosmetic ingredient, that's a cosmetic regulation. If you wanted to put them on there, that's up to you, but they're not covered or required. So that's basically all that's required on a soap label. If you have more questions, you could check out my podcast, which is on the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild site. And also I've done another short video that covers cosmetic labeling and the requirements there. My books are available at the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild, and hopefully this will give you a good start for getting your soaps properly labeled.